Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on August the 18th, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. And as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the, let's do a new window. Okay, so in terms of actually overall what's going on in the market right now, we have a couple of things that are important. So one is the Taliban situation in Afghanistan. So there's a lot of problems right now, a lot of people trying to escape the country. US is helping out, other countries are helping out there as well. So that's something we need to monitor, and that's what's causing some of the safe haven currencies to gain. So we saw US dollar did well today, and then we also saw yen, Japanese yen, Swiss franc crosses, all of these, all these currencies did well because of the problems. Anytime there's any geopolitical issues, the safe haven currencies tend to outperform, and that's what we saw across the board today. And also New Zealand dollar took a hit today. Part of that was because of the lockdowns, the new lockdowns. They're going into new lockdowns because of the spread of the Delta variant. And that now is putting pressure on the New Zealand dollar, and we saw that drop. And because of that, now there is some uncertainty. So we had talked about how they may raise rates here tonight, but there is some uncertainty in that, because if the economy is shut down, then it will become difficult for the central bank to raise rates. So we will have to see how that plays out here. Anytime we see lockdowns and shutdowns, those are negative for the economy and bad for the currencies. So we'll keep an eye on this. This was looking like a good bet, but not anymore with the current lockdowns or the new lockdowns that are in place. That would cause some uncertainty around the rate hike. And then coming up on Wednesday here, we do have CPI, which is our inflation numbers. So inflation really important right now because of concerns around increase in prices across the board, real estate outperforming pretty much everything, and then we are seeing the cost of goods has gone up, and so inflation becomes a problem. When inflation is too high, then the central bank is forced to raise rates. So that's why inflation will be something we'll keep an eye on. And we have inflation numbers for pound, for euro, and Canadian dollar. So we'll keep an eye on all of these. If the numbers come in higher than expected, it will be good for that currency. And then we also have FOMC, the Fed meeting tomorrow, coming up on Wednesday here. With the Fed meeting, at this point, they're not really expecting any sort of positive comments from the Fed in regards to raising rates at this point. It will be more a matter of basically pushing it down, the decision down the road. So if that's the case, then there won't be much of a difference. We may, depending on how bearish or dovish their comments are, it may even have a negative impact on the US dollar. So anything that is positive about raising rates, or anything about raising rates in the near future, would be good for the US dollar. And anything that kind of pushes it down the line will be negative for the US dollar. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then employment numbers here also coming up for Australia. If the employment, what happens like this here, we see negative, we see a drop in employment, that would be negative for Australian dollar. So we'll take a look at that. All right, moving on to our chart here. Yesterday we had talked about euro dollar. So euro is back into the support here now. Yesterday we had talked about how if the price dropped to below 1.1765. Our target was at 1.1700, so it got there. Now it's into big support here. So this is where we have to be careful. So bias is bearish, but we have to be careful. Last time price was bearish here, it turned around. And again, we saw price close into this with a bearish candle, and it turned around. Now we do have a nice big strong candle close here, but we need to see a break for this to continue lower. So bias is bearish with caution though, because now we are into territory that we haven't seen in all of 2021. And we haven't seen since November, late 2020. So we'll keep an eye here. Bias is bearish. Again, be mindful of this big support level here. So in this case, we're looking for a drop here, a break, and then a pullback, and then continuation. So bearish bias here, target is 1.1620. So bearish bias with caution for euro dollar. Pound dollar, quite a nice drop here as we had expected yesterday. Now price is into support here. Again, be mindful. This is also an important support. So bearish bias, we're looking for a break, and then we will look for continuation. So if price gets stuck above the support level, things could turn around. So just keep that in mind. Right now, we're looking for a continuation move here to the downside. So bearish bias in terms of our targets. First target is 1.3665, and then we're looking at 1.3570. So bearish bias for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, quite a break to the downside for Aussie as well. In this case, our target. So bearish bias here, watch out for a bit of a pullback here. And next target is 0.7220. So bearish bias here as well. Now, because the moves have been very inefficient, so big drop here, as we can, excuse me. So if we take a look at it, so quite a sharp drop that we have seen. So in this case, when we have these sharp moves, they do tend to get filled. And that's the thing we'll have to be careful about. This is an inefficient move and things could turn around. So we just need to be careful with this one. So with bearish bias, or I should say for all the US dollar crosses here. New Zealand dollar, this is quite a move, very, very big move for New Zealand dollar, and part of that was just because US dollar was strong, but the other part is with the new lockdowns in New Zealand, this is negative for New Zealand dollar. So a bearish bias here. Again, keep in mind, we are into some major support here. Price has tested this level 3 times and it has failed. So just bear that in mind. It could turn around from here, but bearish bias still. Next target, we're looking at 0.6835. And then beyond that, we're looking at 0.6800. So bearish bias, again, with caution. This is the bottom of this big range that price had been trading in. Dollar CAD here, this one broke through the resistance as well. So US dollar overall quite strong today, and it is into resistance now. So be careful with this one here as well. Now, this is where it struggled previously, and here we are again. So bias is bullish. However, what we need to see is a break here. If it holds below 1.2650, it could turn around. So it could also do one of these. So that's the concern here. That's the risk. So watch out. So right now, I would say bullish bias, again, with caution with all of these crosses. Now, next target is 1.2700. So bullish bias for dollar CAD. Okay, looking at our silver here, commodities. Silver is struggling. And as we can see, price pulled back into 23.85, and then it got stuck here. So today we have a bearish engulfing candle. So looking for a move back down towards 23.00. So bearish bias here for silver. Gold as well, it did go up, but now we see a neutral candle close here, which means we could see things turn around here. So bearish bias, neutral to bearish bias, I should say. 1775 is the first target. And then below that, we have 1770 and 1767. So bearish bias, neutral to bearish bias for gold. Oil here, oil also looks bearish. First target is 65.45 and then 64.85. So bearish bias for oil. Copper, quite a drop in copper here. And a lot of this is tied into all the lockdowns that we are seeing in Australia and New Zealand here. So bearish bias in this case, and 4.12 is the target. So bearish bias for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin holding its own right now. We are seeing price consolidate here. We do have a bearish candle close, which was to be expected after that pin bar. So slightly bearish, neutral to bearish bias here, as long as it holds above 43,700. If it holds above that, we're looking for a move back higher again. So in this case, neutral and slightly bearish, but overall neutral bias for Bitcoin. But once it goes through this 43,700, then we got a lot of room here. But for now, neutral here. All right, stock market here with everything that's going on, geopolitical issues. This is never a good thing for the market. And we have seen this drop, so looking for price to drop further here. 44.15 will be the first target, and then 43.70 is the second target. So bearish bias for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, this also dropped, looks bearish right now. And next target here is 14,780. Now it is into support, but the candle does look strong. So looking for a drop here, 14,780 is the target. Dow Jones here, this one also dropped. Now, again, this is into important support here. So we do need to see a break here and then a continuation. So bearish bias, a little caution here, but target will be 34,725. So bearish bias for Dow Jones as well. DAX here, DAX is still holding, but if the others continue to drop, this is likely to do the same here. So once it drops through the support at 15,800, we will look for a move lower. So right now it's neutral. It's neutral as long as it holds above this previous support resistance level. However, once it drops here, then we are looking for a move lower towards 15,000. Towards 15,700. FTSE here. This one is interesting. Again, it's been going sideways here right now. And if the other stock market starts to drop, this one will drop as well with the others. So 7085 is the target here. So neutral bias for FTSE. And last one here, Nikkei. Nikkei looking bullish here. Sorry, bullish. My apologies, bearish here. Still dropping. It is into support. So this is where it struggled last time. So we need to see a drop through this level for a continuation lower. So next target, first target here is 27,250 and then 27,000. So bearish bias here for Nikkei. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.